fatties. Rolling them, smoking them, eating them, putting them on sandwiches. That's what we're going to be doing today. We are making fatties. This is essentially an amazing smoked meatloaf roulade kind of setup here. What I've got for ingredients here is I've just got some lean ground pork. We've got a ton of bacon here. We've got a lot of old cheddar cheese. We've got just little tiny small hash browns, eggs, fresh peppers, fresh chives, and then stuff to turn this into kind of a sausage. We've got paprika, garlic salt, there's some hot pepper paste, salt and pepper. Yeah, so I'm just going to get things organized here, and I will show you how to actually construct these things. Now, the first step to doing this is actually to cook up your eggs, your scrambled eggs, and your hash browns, just so they have a chance to cool down a little bit. So for that process, I'm just going to get my, my pans nice and hot here. And for the hash browns, I'm going to use a little bit of this bacon grease because why not? We're going to get that hot. We're going to get a little bit of olive oil in there too, just to accompany it. And get these hash browns in here. I like to use the small hash browns, just these like wee little ones here. You could use anything even up to the big like kind of puffs, but I find that these just spread out really nicely when you're spreading them onto everything. So there we go. Get these into here. I know instructions are like, put them in there on one single layer and cook them for 6 minutes or whatever, but this will probably take about 10 or 15 minutes. We'll just keep turning and tossing them. I'll be seasoning them with some salt and pepper here as well, just until they start to turn brown. That's the move. So here's that big batch right there. You can see you kind of got them all nicely browned up. They've been seasoned, and I'm just going to let them cool. All right, now just before I do up the eggs, I'm going to saute. We've got some sweet onions, some red onion, and some green and red peppers that will be mixed up in with the eggs. You know, that'll of course make it healthy all of a sudden. Yeah, so I'm going to saute these, and then we will get the eggs in and scramble. Well, all our super healthy veg is basically done. So it's time to add the eggs. Now this is 18 eggs for this massive batch that we're doing. This is only half of the eggs that we're making actually. And I've got about a quarter cup of milk in here as well. And that will just help with the cooking process. No, it hasn't been seasoned yet. Seasoning is something that's going to happen right before they're done. It just kind of should help with the texture of the eggs so they don't get too rubbery. Scramble time. All right, eggs are finishing up here, so I'm just going to lightly season them and add the some chives to them. Really get all kinds of awesome flavor going on here. And give it a quick stir. And then they will be ready to cool. The time's come to work my meat here. So we've got a lot of ground pork here. This is like 4 club packs of it. This is obviously to make a bunch of fatties. In the description for the video, I'll try to put like a scaled down recipe if you're just trying to do one fatty. But for now, let's play with all this. So I'm going to add in some salt. We're going to get some fresh cracked pepper in there. Kind of wish I'd thrown some pepper in my coffee grinder. That would have sped this process up. And then it's going to be paprika. We're going for like a nice savory sausage here. Especially if you have this with, if you're eating with pancakes or something like that. It's nice to have that savory slice of meat having to go along with it. So we've got the garlic salt in there as well. And now I'm going to put in just a little bit of this hot pepper cream, which should kind of punch up the flavor quite a bit and add just a little bit of heat. We don't want too much because we theoretically want the children to be able to eat and enjoy. So now I'm just going to get in here with my hands and start to work it until it's just a nice consistent mess. All right, this is really nicely mixed. We also wound up throwing in a strong dash of onion powder, just for a little extra flavor. Now, we're not quite sure what it tastes like, so we're just going to cook up a small sample of it here, which is always a good move. You don't want to accidentally overshoot the saltiness or any of the seasonings. So I'll just take a little patty of it. We're just going to throw it onto a nice little frying pan here. Cook it up, taste and see if we need to adjust, and then go from there. So after a little sample, we decided it could use a little bit more garlic, a little bit more onion powder, and then we wanted something a little kind of green and whatnot in there, so I've got some oregano, some dried oregano. We're going to splash that in, work it up, sample one more time. Salinity and everything seemed to be pretty decent, but just flavor-wise, we wanted it a little bit more out there. So, while everything's cooling down, we're going to prepare the bacon weaves that we're going to use around the fatties. Now for this, I'm going to have, it looks like there are about 16 slices of bacon in each of these packages. So I'm going to see if I can get away with an 8 by 8. And then we've got enough bacon to do like 7 fatties here, which would be fantastic. So first step is to lay out 8 strips like this. Trying to keep it kind of even, so some of them have got the fat end here, some of them the fat end up there. All right, so we got 8. All right, now if you haven't seen bacon weaves before, it is pretty simple to do, just takes a little bit of time. So I'm going to fold back every other strip. I'm gonna lay this right here, and like that. Next, you have to take these ones that are underneath and just pop them like this, and then another strip goes down, and then you lay them back, and you just keep alternating back and forth like that. So now these ones will go up.
So the opposite every single time.
The opposite every single time, yes, yes, in case that wasn't clear. Peanut gallery. Do this. Sweet. I'm just going to carry on for the rest here, so we'll be able to create an 8 by 8 bacon weave. And yeah, this should be definitely sufficient for these fatties. It's fantastic. Oh yeah, look at that weave. Nice. It's fantastic. So now we're just going to repeat this for all the other packages of bacon that we've got going on here. Ta-da! Oh, now that's a sexy weave. Look at that. That's some great bacon. Okay, fantastic. Let's whip these up here. All right, so now the trick here is we need to make a flat mat of meat, a meat sheet, if you will, and everything is going to wind up going onto that. So it's going to be a situation kind of like this, okay? I find the easiest way to do it is to just fire your sausage meat into a Ziploc bag. This is like the freezer bags, whatever, and then roll it out. Now I don't seal it all the way. I get it most of the way, but leave room there so that air can get out. Kind of smoosh it around most of the way, and then I'm going to finish flattening it out with the rolling pin. What this lets you do is get a completely uniform meat sheet, and then we're going to actually cut off the bag, and you'll be left with this beautiful uniform mat of meat that you can flop onto your bacon weave. So you can flop your meat onto your meat, and then get all your toppings and cheese and stuff going with that. So I'm almost done this one already, actually. Really doesn't take too long. I complained that this seems a touch wasteful because we are burning through, we're doing 7 fatties today, so we're burning through 7 of these bags that'll never be reused for anything, but it's a heck of a lot easier than trying to put it out on like a baking sheet or something like that, and you know, bunking up your rolling pin or whatever. So there we are. Okay, it's perfect. This was 2 pounds of the sausage meat that went into here. It's all nice and bound beautifully. You can see how thick it is there. Okay, so around like a 1/2 inch or so, and that's just a great thickness where you can.
The jokes are writing themselves.
You know, you still got the meat when you're eating it, but it will roll decently. So we're gonna cut for a minute and have some giggles. All right, well, we've had a lot of laughs. We worked the meat, we beat it, we stroked it, we smoothed it, we got it all prepped and ready, and we have these nice uniform sheets. Bacon weave is ready to go here. Now the move to get this meat out of the bag is just have it opened, and I'm just going to cut through the actual zip parts, and then just slide down to release the meat. Just
Circumcised?
Just like that, precisely. There we go. Now, meat sheet ready. What I do want to do though is I when I first started to do them, I would do it like this and roll, and it was like nice and uniform and whatever. However, what looks way cooler is the diamond pattern here. So, you flop your meat out there, get it onto the bacon, and let's discard this bag. Now we're ready to put the toppings on. So what I did is I took 2 big scoops of cheddar. I took a big scoop of both the egg mix and the hash browns, and it's all on here. And we're just going to get it out onto the meat sheet. This is the first time I've tried it this way. Thanks to Coach Carnage for the suggestion there. And get this all spread out like that. Beautiful. It's going to be nice and uniform and fun. Perfect. All right, now it's time to roll. So I'm going to take this parchment paper and I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to just start it to go. Now I don't want this, I don't want that bacon there to get caught on the inside, so I'm just going to tuck like that. And then start the roll. Come around. So having the parchment on here makes it super, super easy to roll and just to have control over what's going on. You can see with this this excess bacon that was on the one side, once I have it on here, I'm just going to fold it around. If you have any toppings that pop out, which I didn't really this time, you can just kind of tuck them back in there, poke them on in. Whoop, whoop, you're good to go. Now, we've got this plastic wrap set up here. So now all I have to do is roll this out onto there. I can take any of this bacon that needs to be moved around. I can tuck it like so. Wrap it around the bottom here. And we got a straggler. There we go. Nice. All right. Now, it's going to roll it like this. And you can see, like, look at that awesome crisscross pattern across the top there. Now, you want to get this nice and tight because you're going to have it chilling out in the fridge for a little while just to kind of set. And during that time, I'm going to get the smoker going. We'll have it up around between 3 and 350, which will be a perfect temperature to hot smoke this. So we're just going to finish up all the other ones, get them in the fridge. Oh boy, getting excited. Fatties are out of the fridge. They're in the smoker. And we made a decision on the fact that we want these a little bit smokier than they would have been otherwise. So what we're doing is we're firing up the charcoal with them in here. So while the smoker's heating up, they're going to be getting all that smoke off of the charcoal, which is just going to make them super, super smoky and delicious. Kind of cold smoking them as things approach temp. So yeah, we'll get this fired up. Smoker will begin to approach, like I said, between 300 350 degrees. And wow, I don't really have a whole lot else to say right now, except this looks super fun. I cannot wait. We'll check on them after they've been smoking for a little while. All right, things are still sitting around 100 degrees in here, heating up. We're not very long into the smoke, so we're going to take our J spray here. We're going to spray it all over the exteriors of these. And I think this is something that, so we went through not quite half of that, so we'll be able to do this at least one more time. We might have to make up a little bit more and give it another squirt a little bit later on. But yeah, things are heating up in the backyard. Woo! So we're getting closer to temp. I just added some more charcoal. Now it's time to spritz her again here. Ah!
Break out the J spray.
That's right. Everywhere. Yeah, beautiful. Awesome. All right, let that go for another hour or so and check on it. Well, we're a few hours into the cook. It's going to be a little bit longer than initially suggested. So it's time for another little J spray here with our sweet, delicious sauce. Keep those things nice and moist and glazed and flavorful. Nice. And I think there's just enough of this sauce left for a beautiful little spritz later on when she's done. Nice. Alright, so we're nearing the time where I want to start tracking the temperature and making sure that we're going to get hot enough. Look at these. Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely gorgeous. They're still, of course, going to darken up quite a bit. I want to make sure that I'm not, there we go, not touching the rack. So we'll have one of those big ones up there, probably the biggest of them down here, and maybe this one too. I've got the 3 thermometers, so I might as well use them. Now, so that first one, it's approaching 140, it's still climbing, so it's probably getting pretty close to 150 by the time it actually settles out. Yeah, so I mean, maybe another hour? We'll see. I'm going to fire some more coal in there and get things nice and hot and see what we can do. Fantastic. Alright, well, we have taken a bit of an inspection of the internal temperatures here. And these top ones here, they've hit about 170, so they're ready to come out. The bottom ones still need a little bit of time. But either way, we'll pull out the top ones here so that we don't overcook them. Unfortunately, I only have a little spatula to pull them out, so I'm going to have to use this. Hopefully it can contain the fatties.
Compensating for something there?
This is my
Bring
big
it.
truck. Yes. Pull these ones out. And then we will leave those other ones in for now. But check that out. Look at those fatties.
Oh.
And like I said, those gaps in between the bacon we've cross-thatched there, beautiful. Closed up. So we're going to let these kind of cool down a little bit. The other ones will finish up and then they'll cool down, and then we are ready to divide and vacuum seal and freeze. Well, our fatties have had a little bit of time to cool down, which will be nice, because at this point we're going to split them up, vacuum seal, freeze, whatever. But let's cut into one and see exactly how amazing it looks. Oh man, you just see, oh man, we got the hash browns, there's the egg, the cheese, oh, peppers, chives, all kinds of fun stuff going on in here. That beautiful sausage meat. Oh, yes, okay, here we go. Here's a slice, and this is exactly what you want to have. You can take this, it can be reheated, fried up, thrown on breakfast sandwiches, eaten like this, paired with anything. It's fantastic. It has so much going on. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to eat it. The coach behind the cameras
Salivating.
actually, he's going to need a piece right now too.
Ow.
Oh, it's so good and smoky and delicious, and tasting that, oh, the beautiful spray on the outside. Nice and sweet. Absolutely fantastic. So if you want to have an amazing, something you can show off, oh, the words really fail me at this point.
Should have sent a poet.
Precisely. I highly recommend making these. They are so much fun, so delicious, and yeah, until next time, keep Rim 11. And now for the bonus feature. We wound up making way too much filling. Here, we got excited. We were taking it to 11, and well, we went way past. So what we're going to do is we're going to make some breakfast burritos that we can have just for camping or whatever as well, which would be awesome. So all I've done is just taken some tortillas, take like a nice hefty scoop of the filling here.
Oh, not too hefty.
Well, that ball there kind of messed me up. Let's replace that with a little extra cheese here. All right, now, plan is to just tuck in the sides, and roll like so. Got yourself a fun little burrito here. Oh, my hands blew out a little bit. Okay, and we're just gonna wrap that in the foil. These are then going to get vacuum sealed and frozen like this. So then when we go camping, it'll be a simple, quick, easy reheat. Breakfast already made. And added bonus number 2, breakfast pizza. We had a little bit of extra toppings left over, so we added some bacon and made a couple of breakfast pizzas. If you want to check out my pizza dough recipe, you can check out my video for that. And yeah, this looks super delicious.